A 68-year-old veteran raised the American flag outside his home, and the HOA fined him for it. What happened next sparked national outrage. In the heart of a quiet American suburb, where the lawns are perfect and the mailboxes match, lived a man who had seen the world at its worst, and still believed in its best. John Matthews wasn't just another homeowner. He was a retired Marine, a decorated veteran, and a man who had risked everything to defend the freedoms we often take for granted. Every morning, he raised the American flag outside his home, not as decoration, but as devotion. To him, it was sacred. To the HNA, it was a violation. When John refused to take it down, they didn't just threaten him with fines. They threatened his home, his dignity, and the very symbol he fought to protect. What followed was a battle no one expected, and one that would echo far beyond his street. Because this time, the enemy wasn't on foreign soil. It was right here, behind a clipboard, hiding behind bylaws. A quiet suburban street. On a quiet cul-de-sac in suburban America, where manicured lawns and neatly trimmed hedges marked the boundary of perfection, lived a man whose life had been anything but quiet. John Matthews, a 68-year-old retired Marine, had seen war, lost friends, and carried memories most of us can't imagine. Yet all he asked for now was peace, family, and a place to proudly raise the American flag. But little did John know, the real battle was about to begin, right in his own front yard. The morning routine. Footage of John putting up the flag, saluting it, birds chirping. Every morning at 6 a.m., like clockwork, John would step onto his porch, unfurl the stars and stripes, and raise it with precision. It wasn't decoration, it was devotion. A daily salute to the friends he'd lost, the country he loved, and the values he fought for. Neighbors respected him. Some even joined him on special days. But behind closed doors, not everyone approved. The first warning. Camera zooms in on an envelope stuck to John's door. One Monday morning, John found a notice taped to his front door. It was from the HOA. Your flagpole violates neighborhood aesthetic guidelines. Please remove it within 7 days to avoid penalties. He chuckled. He thought it was a mistake. After all, this was his land. And this was his flag. The confrontation begins. John attended the next HOA meeting to clarify the issue. He calmly explained that the flag wasn't a decoration, it was a symbol of his service. But the HNA president, Mr. Langston, disagreed. We appreciate your service, John, but the rules are the rules. No permanent flagpoles. It's in the handbook. The room was silent. The board voted. 5-2. The flag had to come down. John didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just walked out, with his back straight and jaw clenched. The fines begin. Montage of John receiving more notices, opening his mailbox with frustration. Days passed. John refused to take down the flag. Then came the fines. $50, then $100, then $500. The HOA threatened legal action. They even talked about putting a lien on his house. To them, it was about order. To John, it was about freedom. The media gets involved. Word spread fast. A neighbor posted John's story online, and it exploded. Local news stations picked it up. Then national outlets. Reporters swarmed the street. Veterans groups rallied. Flags were raised in solidarity. His lawn became a memorial. A message. People who'd never met John showed up just to thank him. And then came the lawyer. The legal battle. A constitutional lawyer volunteered to represent John pro bono. They argued that the HOA's rule violated the Freedom to Display the American Flag Act of 2005, which protects homeowners' rights to fly the flag on residential property. The HOA's defense? It's not about the flag, it's about the pole. But the judge didn't buy it. The ruling? In John's favor. The fines were dropped. The lien threat vanished. And the HOA was ordered to amend their policies. The turning point. On the 4th of July that year, John didn't raise the flag alone. The whole neighborhood gathered on his lawn, flags in hand. Some brought food, others brought tears. Even a few board members who had voted against him stood in silent respect. One of them walked up, saluted John, and whispered, "I was wrong. Thank you." The HOA president resigns. A week later, Mr. Langston, the same HOA president who had started the entire fight, resigned. He claimed it was due to personal reasons, but the community knew better. A new HOA board was elected, with John invited to advise on policies regarding veterans and flags. 10. Legacy of a flag. John never wanted fame. He never sought attention. He just wanted to fly a flag. But his quiet resistance lit a fire across the nation. Because sometimes the smallest acts of defiance become the biggest symbols of freedom. In a world that often forgets its heroes, John Matthews reminded us that patriotism isn't loud, it's steady. And freedom? It's not granted by HOAs. It's defended by people like him. If this story moved you, even just a little, don't let it stop here. Like, share, subscribe. Because beauty deserves to bloom, and every voice helps it grow.